Thank you for inviting me today to participate in this second edition of the Kurdistan Social Forum. I think the governor, Dr. Abu Bakr, has set, I think, the tone in the spirit of such an event when he mentioned Mandela and when he mentioned how changes have to start locally. And I think when civil society wants to change things and has these ambitious goals of changing the world, it's true that to change the world, we have to start by changing ourselves and by changing our town and by changing those who live around us. So I think many changes can happen with small steps. So I do believe events like this one are really important. For the European Union, civil society is an essential part of our cooperation. We, as European countries, have lived through wars, have lived through social traumas, have lived through violence throughout recent years. And the European Union is basically the result of an agreement between former enemies, between those who were fighting each other for generations to try and work together for a common project. And civil society remains at the heart of the project of the European Union. So that's why we want to support civil society role in other countries, and in particular in Iraq. So this initiative that is part of a wider project that is connected with the Iraq Civil Society Solidarity Initiative and the work of many other organizations like the Peace and Freedom Organization that has been at one of the founding elements of this forum. We are very glad to see that there are many participants from other organizations, from different groups, from different parts of Iraq, discussing together the project, the different subjects that are being addressed in this forum. All those issues are extremely relevant today. The question of water resources, gender equality, women empowerment, minorities, freedom of expression, they're all building blocks for a society to be resilient, to be repression, violence, sanctions. The last 30 years have been extremely difficult, and the fabric of society is damaged, is affected, is fractured, but resilience is what makes a society bounce back, rebuild its social fabric, build bridges, start working with common initiatives for a better future. And the European Union will be supporting you in that. We will be working at different levels. We are developing projects, some of them at a federal government level. Many of those projects also with the government of the Kurdistan region, and also at the local level with the local governorates and with civil society. We have a project on public finance management that's basically about improving management of resources, fighting corruption, increasing transparency in the way those resources are spent. We are going to work in a project starting by the end of the year on local governance, supporting the governorate's ability to deliver services, to improve service delivery. And certainly, in projects like these also, will be supporting the role of youth, of women, of civil society in this process. So I think we are living now particularly exciting moments in Iraq. I know I've been in Soli before, a few months ago, I think about 5 months ago, 6 months ago, and I realized how much disenchantment and skepticism there is, and how people were thinking, well, whatever we do in this election is not going to change anything. Political parties already have or will decide and will make their deals. But things are changing. And what happened this past few weeks, and especially yesterday, in which a new government was voted in Baghdad, it's the proof that things can change, and that the political dynamics are not static, and they're actually offering a new possibility. There will be a new government also in the Kurdistan region very soon, and we hope that both the federal government and the government of KRG will be able to address the outstanding problems, the remaining results of the last year's event and the crisis of the referendum, and work together for a better future. I think that for me is a reason for hope, the way that out of this crisis Iraqi society has bounced back out of the traumatic experiences of the past. Kurdish society has been managed to create a space in which you can see much better understanding. There's freedom of expression, there's political participation. It's a vibrant society. No matter what, you can argue that there are many flaws in the system. There are many problems that should be fixed. But politicians don't come from outer space. They are not aliens. They come from the same society. They come from the same families. They come from the same villages. So I think if the whole social fabric, if those changes have to happen, they have to happen precisely at that level. So civil society very often is where many future politicians will grow. So the fact that there's a clear understanding of the challenges, of the need to really commit for common interests, and not necessarily for just advancing one's career. I think that kind of school happens in places like this. I think the solidarity is a key word. Solidarity means that we are all connected, and we think that whatever affects somebody else at one point or another, it will affect us. It's not just because we are generous, or it's about being pragmatic. It's about really understanding. I remember in Buddhism, ignorance is actually the source of all evil. Because once you realize that everything is connected, then you will act differently. You will not hurt others because you are hurting yourself. You will not take from others because you are taking from yourself. So I think solidarity remains a very important principle. And I think it is one of the foundations of such an initiative. So I would like to mention also how for the European Union we intend to move forward, and in this addressing the common responsibility towards our communities, our citizens, and the new generation. How to preserve and increase the space for democracy and active participation is a common challenge and aspiration. And I think that this it's just the beginning of a long journey. There's a lot that has to be done. And our engagement here, our engagement with Iraq, our engagement with Kurdistan and with you in Soleimania is also part of our own journey, because our security does not start in our borders. Doesn't start in Greek border or in the Italian border or in the Spanish border. Our security starts with the prosperity and the stability of our neighbors. Iraq remains a very important partner. We do have a long-term partnership in which there is important and common interest in regional security, but also in social and political progress. We have recently signed an agreement with the Gender Studies Center here in the American University of Soleimania for gender studies. The role of women is important. Women had a key role in rebuilding social fabric, and they should have also a say in decision making. We hope that the next government will give them that voice. We hope they will get appointments and posts, and we hope also that in the new Kurdish government that will also be the case. So I would like to congratulate you for your initiative, to the Peace and Freedom Organization for the lead, and Ponte Per and other NGOs that have been supporting this initiative for the importance of what they are doing. And I believe our project that is the support for Mesopotamian youth for democratic governance, social cohesion and reconciliation in Iraq. That's the longest title I've ever seen for a project. But I guess that there's a lot to say in it. So thank you so much. Congratulations for the work done, and my best wishes for the discussions ahead. Thank you.